Hello, welcome everybody to Fresno City Toastmasters. We are having a small, so far, all girls meeting today, and heavily represented by the young 20s people, I would say, which is cool. That's not usually the case in our meetings. My name, for everybody who's watching on Zoom, my name is Chanel, and I'm the current club president for Fresno City Toastmasters. I will read our club mission statement for everybody. The of our club and Toastmasters in general is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience, to empower our members to develop communication and leadership skills, which results in hopefully in greater self-confidence and personal growth. So if anybody feels like there's anything that we can do better as a club, just in general or for you personally to help meet that goal, please speak up and let's talk about it, because if we don't feel like we're growing personally, then we're not getting what we should out of the club according to our mission statement. Hi, Joey, welcome.
Hello, ladies.
So the one business announcement that we have is that next week we are having our open house on the 25th. It'll be the same times, but plan to maybe go a little bit later. It's all about 1:15. And we'll be having it on Zoom and in person. If you guys are able to come at all in person, that would be, I think, really cool to have some people here to get to see you face to face. If you can't, though, I understand that it's difficult. Does anybody have any questions about the open house next week I would like to ask for points of discussion?
I don't think so. I think we're all good. I have a couple people come in. I got to get some kid coverage because that's a Tuesday. It's usually my wife's got something. So there could be a chance I might not be able to make it, which I might just drop by this stuff maybe earlier and do it that way if we need to. But yeah, I got a couple people coming.
Awesome. Very cool. Heather, has any of your advertising stuff worked out?
Yeah, I mean, I've got some response here and there. And then this week I was going to actually reach out to like the Fresno State alumni, more Instagram, and go that route and see how many more people we can get that way. So far, so good.
Awesome. And I think, Joey, I still need to sign up for something on the food sheet to bring, but I'll do that today.
And it's going to be just like little finger foods and drinks and stuff like that. Yeah, I just want to make sure. Okay.
Denny, were you going to say something?
We're doing pizza, right?
We're doing pizza. I think we were doing like a potluck sign up.
Okay.
Is that
I will be here next week.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll be there, but just on Zoom. I won't be able to come in person due to work.
Yeah. And Kalani, even if you're not going to be able to attend, you can still invite people or tell anybody about it. I don't know if some people you work with or in your mastermind group might be interested. Awesome. Okay. With agenda. So who do we got here? Joey, since you're not speaking, would you be able to take over the grammarian since Monica's not here?
Sure.
And we got everybody else. Okay, so and just to clarify, we will not be having any speeches today, so we'll just be doing table topics. With that, I will pass the podium over to our Toastmaster today, Heather.
Thank you, Chanel. So today is my first time as Toastmaster, which is exciting for me. As the Toastmaster, I'm just introducing the theme for the day, just kind of get the conversation going, make sure everyone knows who's who and what you're doing. So the theme for the day is things to do in a lifetime. And that theme really got me thinking, especially after this weekend, about life in general and just how precious it really is, and not to take any moment for granted. My husband Kyle and I got the opportunity to go down to Half Moon Bay, and it was my first time ever. And we visited our cousins, and it was a very wonderful, amazing weekend, but it was also very bittersweet because we were given the news that my cousin Chandra is really, really not doing well. Like, we knew that she was deciding not to do any curative care, but she was recently diagnosed with MSA, which is it's dystrophy along the whole body, pretty much. I can't quite remember the exact diagnosis, but her body is basically shutting down from head to toe, and she's only 32 years old. And so this weekend really made me realize just, how little time we really do have, and just to take life for what it is, and the good and the bad. So I just wanted to bring that up today. So you guys, if there's anyone in your family, just tell them that you love them, hug them, kiss them, and if anyone's been on your mind, I definitely would have you, reach out. There's a reason why you're thinking about them. Maybe you don't know why, maybe it's just reaching out. So anyway, I'm going to introduce those who are on the team. And the first person is our general evaluator, Miss Kaylani.
Thanks, Heather. I would like to send my condolences. That's awful. But yeah, today I am the general evaluator, and my job will be to introduce the roles of today. And we're going to start with, I'm so sorry, who's the grammarian? Is it Joey? Okay.
Yes,
Now, I will go ahead and introduce our grammarian for the day, Mr. Joey Myers.
Thanks, Kalani. So I posted it in the chat. Word of the day is winsome, which means pleasing or cheerful. And the definition is, that's a definition used in the sentence. Interviewers all remarked on the candidate's winsome personality, which made her stand out among the other qualified job applicants. And here's a quote with it used as well. Among the fabled activists who risked their lives and transformed those of many others in the civil rights movement, Julian Bond stood out with his smooth patter, winsome charm, and understated glamour. So I will be taking note of who uses the word winsome today.
Fantastic. Thank you, Joey. I will go ahead and introduce our awe counter of the day, our Madam President, Chanel West.
Thank you, Lonnie. As the awe counter today, I am going to be listening for all of our crutch words. I am going to do my best to try to be specific to each person, because I know we all have certain things, including myself, that we are more prone to do. So I will be paying attention to that, writing it down, and giving a report at the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Chanel. I'd like to go ahead and throw myself under the bus. If you could count how many times I say the word just, I'd appreciate it. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our timer of the day, Ms. Denny.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to time our table topics, which are 2 minutes. So at a minute and a half, at 2 minutes, I'm going to do yellow, and time's up. All right. Give a report at the end.
Sounds good. I like your innovation, Denny. Last but not least, we will be introducing our Zoom master of the day, Mr. Joey again.
Thanks, Kalani. So I'll be just zooming the meeting, recording it, and zooming in on whoever's speaking for table topics. Although I like to have everybody in the table topics. I like seeing everybody's faces at least when I'm doing it. That's my personal opinion, but that's what I'll be doing.
Fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and pass the torch back to our Toastmaster day, Heather.
Thank you, Kaylani. And like Kaylani said, we don't have any speeches today, just basically table topics. So I think I'm passing it back to Chanel, or
Pass it to Joey.
Am I doing it?
Joey. Yeah. Joey, you are the table topics master today. So
Yes, ma'am.
passing you
And the only
torch.
one I think that didn't do this last week that we did this was Kalani, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so this is going to be new to her. She's going to love this one. Yeah. So I have a sheet here. We'll just continue it because we didn't even take a bite out of the sheet last week. I think we had maybe, what do we have, 8 to 10 maybe, and we have 365 questions. 365 questions, and you can do one of two things. You can either pick a number between 1 and 365. If you can even remember the number you picked last time, try not to pick that number. Or we can have the magical Google random number generator get your number for you, pick your number for you. So we can go one of two ways. We're going to get plenty of time, might be able to go through this a couple of times since we don't have any speakers. So who wants to start? Oh, let me give for Kalani, these aren't crazy questions. Some of them, although surprised us last time, but if I take one, is the reward worth the risk? I think that was something Heather got last time. What good comes from suffering? And one more as an example of what these questions are. In 20 years, what do you want to remember? Those are just the type of questions that I'll be asking. So who would like to go first?
I'll go first, Joey.
El Presidente. All right. Did you want to pick your own number, or do you want the magical Google random number generator do it?
I like the magical Google number.
Okay. All right. Here we go. First one. 52. 52. Feels like it's a bingo thing. 52. We got, what impact do you want to leave on the world? Again, what impact do you want to leave on the world? Take it away. Is Madam President Googling right now?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, sorry, you cut out for a moment and
Did you hear me? Hey, let me read.
What impact do you want to leave on the world? Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Raise your hand if you have ever heard of a book called When Helping Hurts. Anybody? Just me. I read it when I was in college, and it was written by a couple of men who are heavily involved in community development type efforts around the world. And the thesis of the book essentially is that we as Americans and as people who are involved in giving, whether it's of our time, our resources, our money, we need to be mindful of the kind of help that we're giving and make sure that it is actually things that are building people up rather than just putting a band-aid on a issue and not actually contributing to a solid problem. I say that to say, I believe the impact that I would like to make on the world is being somebody who can identify and support efforts to bring about positive community change in people's lives, increasing their access to resources, increasing their opportunities and their own self-confidence to pursue those opportunities, but doing it in a way that is sustainable and helpful rather than hurtful. It's something that I am passionate about, and I specifically would like to support and get behind causes that are doing that in a way that is very thoughtful and effective. And that is somewhat of a broad, abstract answer, but I think at various points in the past, I've gone into more detail on what that looks like for me. So that is my answer. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Chanel. Yeah, and that's definitely something that goes right in line with a lot of the speeches that you've given. So I like that. Any other volunteers? Remember, we got our word of the day there: winsome, pleasing, or cheerful. If you can work that in, you get a double star for that.
I'm gonna rip the band-aid off. Let's go.
You can do it. You want to pick a number, Kalani, or you want me to pick? Do you want Google's magic to pick it?
Google can pick. Might as well go all the way.
Google magic. All right, here we go. Ooh, it's staying in the double digits. 33. 33. If you could choose one book as a mandatory read for all high school students, which book would you choose? I'm going to read it again. If you could choose one book as a mandatory read for all high school students, which book would you choose and why?
Being that it is still in the middle of my workday, I'm still work-minded right now. I would probably be a toss-up between Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill or Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. The reason why I chose those two was because in the area that I'm from, the mindset's completely different from those that I'm now exposed to right now. And I think there's a reason why, as I was talking about beforehand, there's a lot of people in the rooms that I'm in that don't look like me, that aren't from my background, that aren't my age. And those were the two books that I read that really changed my philosophy and my mentality, in that I could achieve more and that I wasn't necessarily alone in my thought process. It was more that validation of, okay, this is what's going to happen and this is what we're heading towards, as opposed to what I've known my entire life. And it wasn't necessarily bad or wrong, but exposed not only myself, but others in my situation to be able to see that there's other possibilities of life, possibilities of what you want your life to look like. And it's okay to go towards those. And essentially the building blocks to be able to see that it can happen.
I love that. Thanks for sharing that. Those are two of my personal favorites too. And I do agree with you that Rich Dad, Poor Dad should be a required reading in high school, if not junior high. It's an easy read. It's not that hard. The concepts in there, I think he does a good job of explaining when it comes to money, finances, real estate, assets versus liabilities, all that kind of stuff. He puts it in a very, very layman term. And at least it could be the opening of a deep, dark rabbit hole that you can go down and explore other books and other things like that. I totally agree on that. Thanks, Kalani. All right, Denny, Heather, do you want to?
Okay. Yeah, I'll go.
Heather,
Now let's do, the Google Magic number.
Google Magic number generator. All right, let's see if it stays in double digits. Wow, 29. That's actually one of my favorite numbers.
Oh.
29. When it's all said and done, will you have said more than you've done? Again, when it's all said and done, will you have said more than you've done? Interesting questions.
I like to believe that I would let my actions show more than my own words, because that's what I believe. Don't tell me, show me. In a lot of areas of my life, though, reflecting, especially after this last crazy year and starting a new year, I realize I have said some things and never followed through and did that. And so that's something that I'm personally working on this year, of self-discipline, so I can hopefully let my actions show more than the words I say, because not that the words are empty, they definitely have meaning and intent behind it. Some empty words, be real. But for the most part, it really is, I mean to do this, but then don't come around to do it. I always have some sort of excuse, whether it's, I'm tired and don't want to do any more work after work, or you fall down that trap of endlessly scrolling on your phone. It's like, wait, okay, what time is it? It's dark again? Crap. So trying to let my actions speak louder and have the things I've done speak for me. So at this time, no, I have not done more than I said, but I'm definitely working on that. And I would like to just leave it all out there, especially the writer in me just wants to show you. So yeah, that's my answer.
I like that. Yeah, that's tough. And I think that's why we all join Toastmasters, is to go from that. If it is communication, we need to make better, or leadership skills or anything like that, or the thoughts, the stories in our head that we can change other people's lives with, we have to practice, we have to get out there. So I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing, Heather. Danny, do you want to go?
Go.
You want to give it to Google again? You want to pick a number?
Yeah.
Give it to Google.
Yeah, do it.
All right, let's see here. Here we go. Now we're approaching the triples almost. 93, close. Let's see. Okay. Why are you? Again, why are you, Denny?
Not a deep question. I've come to the conclusion that at this point in life, which I'm 60, I think I am, that I'm not going to get good at everything, that I'm really only excellent in a, and that's okay. My kids are a big part of who I am. Let's say parent is a big part of that. What? Have lived in the country has changed a lot. Those are all growing experiences that over time to be a big part of who I am, and in expanding knowledge base so that the people that I, as new, I can relate to, and life continues to go on here and get bigger and better. So my mom, that's my 93-year-old mom, and it's going to change my life now in a very good way. I look forward to that opportunity to be of service to her in the end of her life, and be, because I've been a person who received a lot of people have been very gracious to me all the way along as a person who made lots of mistakes and the right thing, but I make shown a lot of kindness. Now I get to, I have a granddaughter that lives with us also, so I get to take care of her during this school year, and my mom has to live with us now, so I get to do all those things. Those are opportunities, responsibilities that I wouldn't have been ready for at an earlier point in my life, but I think I'm up for them, and I look. Well, that's what makes me me.
Love that, Denny. little choppy towards the end. I don't know if it was the echo over there, but so you have mom coming in to live with you, it sounded like, and you got granddaughter who's already there. Yeah. So you're going to have a full house. I think it's going to be, like you said, it's a good thing. You guys are going to have a lot of action where you didn't have as much action before. And maybe the granddaughter coming in, the teenager, that was just the kind of the launching pad, the foundation, getting you ready for mom coming in too. Very cool. Very cool. All right, let me give it to Google for my thing here. 115. 115. If someone could tell you the exact day and time you were going to die, would you want them to tell you? Again, if someone could tell you the exact day and time you're going to die, would you want them to tell you? I thought we promised these weren't going to be deep. I would not. I do not want to know details of that. I feel knowing the answers to the test, I don't feel like I would like faith is part of life. And I feel like faith is part of a big part of my life. And I'm big into Jesus and God. And that's the first. And then there's the family after, and then everything else kind of follows along after that. And I think that if I knew when I was going to go, that some people would say, well, I could get all this stuff done and whatnot. And I think if anything, you should probably think you're going to go the next day anyway. You should think like tomorrow's going to be my last day. And then you should live as if that were the case. And I don't know. I think that knowing, like legit knowing, okay, this is going to be the date and the time and the whole thing, I think it takes the fun out of life. I think having that anticipation and leaning on that faith a little bit is what makes life fun. If you have too much certainty in your life, it's boring. We want uncertainty, maybe not too much, but we want uncertainty in our life, at least a touch of it. And I don't mind having a little bit more than normal, but sometimes I like a little bit of a back off. So that's what I would say. I would say, nope, I don't want to know. All right. So we have probably time for another round. Anybody else want to jump in? Heather?
I'll go again.
All right. Did you want to pick a number? Or do you want Mr. Google to do it, or Mrs. Google?
Just let's do the magic. I like it.
Let's do the magic. All right. Let me grab it. 186. Let's see. What does love feel like? Again, what does love feel like?
For me, love should feel winsome, happy, cheerful, light. Looking back 10 years ago, because I've been with my husband for 9, married for 3. And prior to us dating, I had this whole other idea of what love should be and what my relationship should look like. And I'd always been praying, God, just please take care of my husband, send him to me. And I'm just like with Kyle, like, where are you? But I realized it's, him, he's my best friend. He truly makes me laugh and feel good about myself. And I think laughter definitely is huge for me in a relationship, and just feeling secure and not having to guess, ulterior motives or anything like that, but having that complete faith and trust in that person. And for me, that's Kyle. And, you should always, don't be, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say lazy, like don't get too comfortable. You know what I mean? You don't want to find yourself not doing anything in your relationship. Like have fun, live it up. Like I said, we went trailing on our bikes this weekend, which is great. But overall, I think the core is sharing a similar faith and just being able to laugh and have fun and enjoy the relationship for what it is. So for me, that's what love should look like.
Great answer, Heather. Great answer. All right. Their volunteer.
I'll go again. I am getting some choppy internet connection on this end, so let me know if I am breaking up too much and I need to stop.
Okay. Did you want the magic of Google?
Yes, Google
Magic of Google. 284. 284 is how have you sabotaged yourself in the past 5 years? How have you sabotaged yourself in the past 5 years?
Good grief. All right. How real do you want me to be right now?
Real. Capital, all caps.
I think one of the most significant lessons that I have had to learn in the past 5 years is how to get along with people in work relationships. And as some of you know, Danny can testify, I'm still not doing it perfectly, but I have come a long way in the sense of learning to communicate things that are frustrating before it piles up and then comes out in a big whoosh of frustration, which is something that has happened for me in the past. I think that that has probably been my greatest self-sabotage. And I don't know if it technically qualifies as self-sabotage because it was not intentional. It was not something I was thinking, oh, I'm trying to ruin these work relationships. But it is something that I did that sabotaged my life in some ways. So I am glad that I'm learning that lesson on the younger side of things rather than any sooner into the future and getting older and learning how to work on my communication skills, work with people, and be able to collaborate in a team environment. All of those things are very important. That is my answer. Thank you for listening to my very real table topic today.
Thanks for sharing, Chanel. Yeah, it's self-sabotage. It's amazing. You say that. I don't think I would be trying to ruin work relationships, but I seem to be ruining work relationships, right? It's such a interesting dichotomy that's going there. You have one thing you wouldn't try and do that, but subconsciously for whatever reason you do that. Very interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Denny, Kalani, Denny. Oh. All
Go
right.
for it. Pull the number.
The Google.
Yeah.
219. 219 is, what life lessons did you have to experience firsthand before you fully understood them? What life lessons did you have to experience firsthand before you fully understood them? Take it away.
First of all, you're at the point where you understand them. Boiling it down to just a few, I would say marriage is an ever evolving experience. Parenting is an ever evolving experience. And depending on the stage of life I'm in, I understand it differently. One of the things that helps me a lot to understand my own experience is to jump in to help somebody else who's struggling with something I've already gone through. And I do that not always knowing what to say or what to do, but the fact that I am a parent, that I've been through childbirth and all the things that come after that, I can, for instance, a young mother who's suffering with depression, I can do what needs to be done to be supportive of her, even if I haven't been through her exact situation. I've been through close enough that I can relate, and she knows that I'm a mom because I have a child to prove it. So that gives me some credibility with her, but I leave that experience with a deeper understanding of my own. It helps me to look back at what I've been through, possibly in a different way. So when I reach out to other people that are going through what I've been through, it helps me to understand my own experience in a more expanded way. Thanks.
That's great, Denny. Mentorship. And you seem like most of us here where it's, how can I help, right? That's your central operating system. How can I help? And I love that about you, Denny. All right, Kalani, you ready? The Google. All right, I'm gonna go here. 158. 158. 158. Do you see to believe or believe to see? Do you see to believe or believe to see?
Unfortunately, I'd love to go with the more winsome answer, but I see to believe. I am a incredible skeptic of everything. Even when I know that there is science behind it, until I've accepted it, it's just not registering for whatever reason. I need immense amount of data. I need more than one confessional. If I cannot absolutely be certain of it, I choose not to believe it. And unfortunately, there are conversations and, criticisms that go with that. And it also might come with the label of being stubborn that I will not deny nor accept. But I'm a skeptic. I am very critical of certain things, and I unfortunately don't think it's the best way to live. And I'm learning to balance that with not giving a fuck. So that is my answer to that.
I love that. Well, I'm a fellow skeptic as well. Doubting Thomas, I would have been the guy that didn't believe Christ came back until I put my fingers in the wounds of Christ. And that is okay. And I know you say, well, that's probably not the best way to live, but I think we need skeptics, and we also need optimism, and we need skepticism. We need a good balance of both, or else, good potpourri of it, right? And I'm the same way. So BS meter is high from the start, and it's almost like you're guilty to proven innocent. It has to be. So we got to have that kind of. Go ahead.
Oh no, that was a hard one. Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to change my intro to this as no life questions to these are life questions. All right, my turn. We'll do last one. 208. 208. What do you do with the majority of your money? What do you do with the majority of your money? Now, that has changed over time for me, depending on the stage of whatever business that I've been in. In the beginning, I was very much didn't want to go into any kind of debt, no matter what kind of debt it was, bad, good, anything. And then reading some books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad starts to get your mind thinking about, okay, there is bad debt, and then there's also good debt. Now you got to manage that good debt. The difference would be like if I went out and bought a $10,000 TV versus taking that same 10 grand and investing in a real estate course. Or like in the case for me, these last couple of years, I've taken on a little bit more debt than I'm usually comfortable with where you can use the 0% APR for a while, but it's in investing in processes, business processes. It could be a business acquisition process course. It could be a search engine optimization process course, something that will, once you put the work in, will give you a return on investment. And what I do with the majority of my money when it comes to the business side of things over the last couple of years has just been a little bit more lax on the debt side of things, because I know that at some point when everything's built that I'm going to come out of the clouds, out of the dark clouds and get into the sunshine. Personally, I don't take on that much. I make sure that I'm more awash in cash on my personal side than I am on my business side. And I'm sure that'll change at some point too. That's just been the last couple of years with everything going on, COVID and all the unpredictability and things like that. I've just thought more investing in myself was a better investment than just buying the $3,000, $10,000 TV screen. So that's what I would do. All right. Any other thoughts on that, or should we move this train on? Pass it on over to our general evaluator. So that's Kalani.
Fantastic. Thank you, Joey. I really enjoyed that. I'm sorry I missed the last one. I hope you're able to do that not next week, but the week after, because I'll be here for that.
Which one?
Next week I won't be here, which is the open house, but the meeting following that, I hope we do the same.
Oh yeah, you like it?
Definitely thought-provoking. thought-provoking. Did not know what I was entering into today. It worked out. Since we don't have any evaluators, I will go ahead and start with the reports. So, Madam Timer, Denny, would you like to give a report?
Yes, I will. It's lengthy today. We ran through everybody twice, I think, didn't we?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to run just the way you spoke. So Chanel, your first one was 2:05. Kalani 1:45. Heather 1:30. Mine was 2 minutes. Joey, you were remarkably short this time, which was 1:35.
I was I was where it's supposed to be, Danny.
Maybe it was 3:35 and I wasn't watching. It's possible.
Oh, dang. Get my hopes up.
Heather was 1:35, Chanel 1:45, I was 1:10, Kalani 1:35, and Joey, you were still under 2 minutes. It's the weirdest thing today. I don't know what and that's it.
There we go. Thank you, Denny. We will go ahead and pass it to Chanel. Hit us with your AW counter. I think we're ready for it. Oh no, you're muted.
You're muted, Chanel. How did she mute herself?
Sorry, there was construction going on in the parking lot, and I muted it and forgot to. As I was saying, thank you, General Evaluator. I would firstly like to say that I enjoyed all of your winsome hearing our table topics today. Everybody did, all 5 of us, I think, I wasn't watching myself as closely, but the 4 of you at least did really, really well on not using a lot of crutch words. I could hardly catch anything. Heather, you had a couple of so's and a couple of justs and 1 yeah, but I did not catch any uhs or ums, which I think is huge improvement, really awesome. Kalani, I actually did not catch any justs from you. So I think it's possible that since you said that out loud before we started, you were thinking very carefully and watching for it, which is awesome. Denny, I had 1 from you, and Joey is always incredibly hard to catch. I could not catch any of the traditional crunch words from him. Are you writing yourself out now? I will say 2 things though that I observed that I think we could all work on in our table topics. The first one is eye contact. I've been struggling with this specifically in the table topics when we do these extemporaneous questions, because I think rolling our eyes and looking around is a symbol of thinking, and we're all thinking as we begin speaking. Danny, you were actually the best, I would say, today at eye contact. I think you're very good at that. But I know myself and the rest of us, a lot of rolling our eyes around the room. So that's one thing to be conscious of. And a second thing to be conscious of, because I have struggled with this, is ending our table topics in a way that is concise and has some sort of closure. So Heather, for example, when you did your first table topic, it kind of trailed off kind of a yeah, so I don't know what to say, it's over. But then when you did your second one, you ended it it was formal, but very appropriate, you said, and that is how I view love, or whatever, just summarizing, this was my answer to the question. I think that that's a good way to end it. I think saying thank you, table topics master, I'll pass it back to you, is acceptable. And then a more advanced way to end it is if you were really getting into a speech style and you had like a poignant quote or statement to kind of land on. I think most of us are not able to come up with that every time, understandably. But those are a couple of things that we can all watch for and just try to be more mindful of. Thank you, General Evaluator.
I think you had fantastic points there, Madam President. I'm definitely in both those categories like you mentioned. So I will definitely be paying attention to that going forward. Thank you. And I will be passing it to Joey, our grammarian of the day.
Thank you, Kalani. And Denny had a couple weeks ago, she had some good points too. when she was table topics master, she got some light issues going on over there, Miss Photography. Yeah, she had some really cool tips and points too a few weeks ago on table topics were really good. That what Chanel's saying is being able to take a quote. Maybe it's kind of tough to do in the beginning, but that whole tell them what you're going to tell them what you just told them. Even if you can't do the first part, that last part, I think, is what Chanel's getting at, to where you wrap it up in some sort of a way where you're summarizing like what Heather did on the second time. So I totally agree. On the word of the day use, I might have missed some because I was enthralled in what everybody was talking about, but I did get Kalani, and Chanel got it, snuck it in there right at the end. Heather, did you get it too? Did I miss you?
Yeah,
Yay. Which one was it? Which table topics?
it was the second one.
Second
where it
one.
needs to
Boy,
be a
you were
winsome relationship.
on par on that one. On your second one, making it all concise and then using the word of the day. So sorry I missed that, Heather. I liked what you were saying. Denny, did you get it? Did I miss you? No. Okay. So that's my report on the word of the day.
Thanks, Joey. I will go ahead and pass the podium back to Madam President.
Do you want to give a brief overview of the meeting?
Yes, I will. That sounds great. All right. I thought today's meeting was well. I thought it was thought-provoking, and if anything, we kind of are leaving this meeting knowing each other just a little bit better than we did about 45 minutes ago. Like you say. So looking forward to our next meeting. I thought this one was very efficient, even though we did start a little bit late just to make sure everyone got in on time. We were on topic, and I think we are all coming out of this with a little more understanding of where we need to improve and where we have improved thus far. All right, Madam President, you can go.
Good
I
one.
will pass the podium to you.
Thank you. Firstly, I would like to thank you, Joey, for jumping in as our grammarian today and also for leading table topics. I really enjoy that table topic style. I think it's been very challenging for me in a good way. I feel a bit of nervousness starting out, especially on that first one today. I was kind of starting to sweat a bit. I think it's good practice for all of us, and I think everybody did really well today. I wanted to make sure of those of us who are here that we're filled in for roles next week for our open house, or those of us who will be here. I know, Joey, you're going to be doing the pathway introduction at the beginning, and did we put you down for table topics?
Put me down? Yeah. Did you want to try? I don't know if I can, we can try this style. Maybe we can try this style. I'm just trying to think. Maybe I'll pull it up on my phone or something. I can pull up the 365 table topics and then have the random number generator there. Or if somebody wants to take one of those roles, they can.
Well, I can't remember what we talked about in our board meeting. Denny, did we put you down for table topics? Is that what we discussed?
That is what we discussed.
Okay, yeah, we'll stick with that then. I wasn't trying to change it. I was just clarifying.
Okay.
Yeah, so that way everybody hopefully can do something. So no one person has to.
You don't want the Joey show to happen. You don't.
Even though Joey show is very entertaining. I think since we're going to be doing the full spectrum, we'll also need a general evaluator, grammarian, odd counter, and timer for next week. I can put myself down for general evaluator. Heather, are you going to be here?
Yeah, I'll be here for the meeting. I could do the grammarian.
Okay. And since we will have guests here, we're going to be doing a kind of a full description of each of the roles and what they entail. So when I send out the agenda this week, as always, we attach a Toastmaster Wears Many Hats document to that. So I would recommend just reading the description of the role in the Toastmaster Wears Many Hats, so that we're prepared to define and describe the role as accurately as possible. Okay, and then I'll email out and see if we can get probably Sarah and maybe somebody else to commit to the timer and off counter positions.
You know, Farron does a really good job on the timer with her background screens and that if you can get.
Mm-hmm.
I think Farron is not able to attend on Tuesdays at noon. As I think that's what has been going on.
Mm.
But we can ask her. I'll ask. Okay, that is all that I have. Does anybody else have any questions or points to bring up?
No, for those interested on the table topics side, I just put that link to that 365 table topics in the chat. So if you want to click that and you can save that. I just Googled Toastmasters table topics 365 and it should come up for those interested.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. You were all awesome today.
Have a good week.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
See ya.